Hey guys, Jackson, free auto mechanic. So I'm driving along in the Jeep. For no reason, a little glimpse out of my eye, I see a dash light come on, and it's to check gauges. And kind of got me a little concerned. I'll show you what's going on here. So you can see the check gauges light is on. I'm checking out my gauges, and the only one I see is that oil pressure down pretty low. If I give it a little bit of gas, bring the RPMs up, you can see the pressure's picking up and it's going up. So driving around is probably okay. Typically you need 10 psi of oil pressure per 1,000 RPM. So it's fine. It seems to be fine when I'm accelerating. You let off. Sure enough, drops back down to nothing. But if you saw, when it was coming down, it seemed like it hit a certain point and then just dropped to 0. Try that again. Yeah, real fast. So what does that tell us? So what I'm thinking is the oil pressure sending unit may be going bad. Could be low on oil, not sure. We'll check that first too. But if the sending unit's going bad, it won't send an accurate signal. And if it's loose, and it does have 188,000 miles on it, so could be just about anything. Could actually be the oil pump going out. But in my experience, when the oil pump is going out, you'll start hearing some knocking noises pretty quick. It doesn't take too long. So like I said, we want to check the oil. I could see there was some oil on it. That's a good sign. And oh yeah, nice and clean, well within the safe zone here. So our problem is not being low on oil. So more than likely it's going to be the sending unit. That's what I'm going to check next. That's the next feasible step, is to look and make sure that the connection's good. And if it appears like there's oil leaking from around the sending unit itself, then there's probably a pretty good chance that that sending unit is failing. And it's a whole lot cheaper than an oil pump, let me tell you that. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, I haven't looked it up in the manual or anything, but as best as I can figure without looking it up, if I get close enough, back down here, I believe that's our oil pressure sending unit. It doesn't look horribly oily or anything, but that doesn't particularly mean anything. Connections look good. So the oil level's good. Sending unit appears to be decent. Doesn't have any external oil leaks or anything going on there. Doesn't look like any of the wiring's messed up. So for my money, I'm just going to go ahead and order another sending unit, stick it in there and see what happens. Because right now, I don't want to have to drop the oil pan, change the oil pump, or do any of that kind of stuff. We will if we have to, but don't fix it if it ain't broke. Alright, so first thing we're going to need is the part to put on. I did order one online. I'll put a link down below to the one I ordered. And they're pretty straightforward. I chose this one. It appears that all of them are made out of China. Odds are they're all coming out of the same factory. I chose this one specifically because it was made out of brass. It's not going to rust or anything like that. I've just had good experiences with the brass ones. Next, you're going to need an 1 1/16" wrench or a socket, whichever you prefer. You can get to it with a wrench. And if you don't have either one, I think there's plenty enough room to use an adjustable if you got one. So let's remember what we got to do here is get down inside. And there's our sensor. We'll need to remove the electrical plug, and then we'll put a wrench on that sensor and take it out. Something I'm going to do to make it a little easier for me, because the sensor's all the way back there, and I'm kind of a short guy. There's tall tires, so I'm using that bucket over there to stand on, but the hood's still in the way, so I'm just going to open it up, just gently set it down. Now that'll allow me to get up here and get back into that sensor a whole lot easier. So first, you need to take the electrical plug out. And you'll do that by squeezing on the bottom and then pulling out. And that'll release it. And I'm gonna have to move my camera. And just remove it all the way. You don't have to worry about any oil leaking out or anything like that. That's where I took it from. Once you get your old one out, the next good practice is to just take a look, match them up, make sure our connectors look the same, everything appears the same, and then we'll just put it back in. Once you get it tightened up, make sure you plug your electrical connector back in, and then you're ready to test. Sure looks like we've got plenty of oil pressure now. We'll check it again once it's had a chance for the temperature to warm back up. Because I know some of you thinking, oh, mine's always got oil pressure on startup when it's cold. And you're right, they do. So we'll let her warm up, drive it around, we'll check it again. So for right now, I'm pretty happy with the results. Seems to be working. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna let it warm up, make sure that it's still retaining oil pressure. In the time being, I'm gonna go out here and check and make sure there's nothing leaking around the sensor we just put in. Yeah, everything looks nice and clean. No oil leaking. Sounds like I got a little bit of a squeaky belt. You can see we've got her up to normal operating temperature, same as it was before. And you see that the oil pressure did come down a little bit, but at 500-600 RPM, she's showing plenty of oil pressure. So it appears that was our problem. Replacing the sensor took care of it. So if you run into that same kind of situation, now you know what to do. Thanks for watching.